All right. Well, everyone, welcome to the first episode on the couch with the dogs board. And today's special guest is a very, 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 very great local businesswoman by the name of Mrs. Kenyonn Demps. I'll just give a little bit of rundown from the different things that she's done. She is the current executive director at Long Term Care. She has been a professor for FSCJ, Florida State College at Jacksonville. She was a former state director at Senior America Inc. And she has also worked at Zumba Fitness before. But I will let her do her main introduction so she can present herself to the world the way that she wants to.
Oh, thank you so much for this opportunity. As you've already said, this is Kenyonn Demps. I have been in long-term care probably since I was probably in middle school. So I won't say how old I am, but that was a pretty long time ago. But I'm serving currently as the executive director of a long-term care, which is a nursing home. And on the side, I run and manage a pageant under a season affair, and the pageant is for women 60 and above.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And to let everyone know before we start, I have attended one of her pageants before in the past, and they were put together very, very nicely. But if everyone doesn't mind, I'm going to go ahead and start with the questions, or more specifically, Vanessa is going to start with the question.
Okay. Hello, Ms. Demps. My first question for you today is what sparked your interest to establish a pageant for mature women and explain how it was when you first started?
Well, my interest sparked because when you are a nursing home administrator, you see a lot of good things, you see a lot of bad things, but mainly you are working with frail seniors. And I really wanted to contribute to the community in a positive way. Not saying that nursing homes you're not contributing in a positive way, but I want to do something that inspired mature women. One day I was watching TV and I saw Miss Texas. It was a pageant and she fell in her gown. And all day long they played it up and down, her falling down, getting up. And they really kind of made fun of it. And I thought how she handled it was so graceful. She got up, she dusted her gown off, she smiled, and she kept going. And at that point, I wondered who Miss Senior Jacksonville was. Did a little research, learned that the city did not have anything like that. They had a senior prom, but not a senior pageant. So I created it. It took me about 10 months to do the research and to realize that no one was doing it, and just woke up and kind of started it. Started talking to other pageant directors in other states, started judging pageants on the local, state, and national level. And then 10 years later, we're still up and running. When I first started the pageant, people would they were intrigued, but at the same time they thought a senior pageant, what in the world? Do they wear swimsuits? So I would always get that question, and even though it's a valid question, it was always like kind of picking at the mature women. I didn't like that, and I would often tell them that if it was your mom, your grandma, your aunt, you want them to feel beautiful, right? You want them to have self-esteem, right? They wear many hats, right? So why not have something that uplift women, and especially mature women? And so as I started to say that, people started to understand it. And as the pageant has grown, people totally get it now. They see the worth and they realize that it's not just a pageant because women come out learning public speaking skills, journaling skills, interview skills, walk skills. They're more confident. Their self esteem is up. They feel like they got their groove back. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
thank you for that.
Hmm.
You're welcome.
Hmm.
Next question.
I wanted to know what are some strong qualities that women have gained from participating in your pageant?
Oh, great question, Derek. Thank you for asking. A lot of the women, they come in not really knowing what to expect. They just know they're in a pageant. And when you think pageant, you think, oh, they're going to be all gorgeous and beautiful and have these tiny little bodies and they're just dynamic women, right? Now, our women are all of that and more, but they don't feel that way. So we help them regain their confidence. We help them regain self esteem. We help them understand that they are still beautiful inside and outwardly. We give them permission to strut their stuff. We give them permission to have a voice. And it's really amazing because some of our women have never worked a day in their life. They've always depended on their husbands. And when their husband passed, they didn't know well, how do you take care of bills? How do you get back out there in the world and feel upbeat about yourself? And our pageant forces them out of their comfort zone. And we do it on purpose. We've had women that um, was battling cancer for the fourth time, and they wanted to go out with a bang, and the pageant was their bang. So ultimately, we help women reinvent themselves. That's what we do. And the sky is the limit with them, and that's what we tell them. They can get as much out of it as they put in. They put nothing in, they don't gain much. They put a lot in, they gain much.
Wow, wow, that's something. I'm going to go ahead and ask a question from Mr. Hunter Graham. He's one of our members, but he can join us today. Um, his question is, how do you feel about a natural hair beauty pageant towards Black women to show the importance of embracing their natural beauty?
I think it's a wonderful opportunity. Um, I think people who are not natural hair doers or wearers don't understand it, regardless of their ethnicity. So I think it's a good idea. Why not? As a matter of fact, when I was starting the Miss Senior Jacksonville and Miss Senior Diva pageant, I did a lot of research on what type of pageants are out there. I found pageants for Latinos, for Black women. I found pageants for gays, pageants for nudists, pageants for blind people, pageants for deaf people. So it's all out there. And when I share that with people, they often would say, what, for nudists? Well, there's something out there for everybody. So there's nothing wrong in my eyes of doing a pageant for natural hair. Why not?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Go for it.
I,
Tell him to go for it.
yes, ma'am. I will. I think my question kind of segues into that. Have you ever thought of organizing any other beauty slash talent pageants for any other ages at
Well,
all?
we have. For 10 years, we've done 60 and above. And for the last 3 years, we have added Miss Senior Diva. That's for ages 50 to 59. So they're like baby seniors. AARP classifies a senior as anyone age 50. And we never really thought about doing a pageant for that age group, but we received so many concerning calls about why do I have to be 60 to do the pageant? I want to do the pageant now. And it just took us some time to really think about it and see if there was a market out there. But there is a market out there. So we've been doing that pageant for 3 years now. We will be branding in Tampa, Florida, come May of next year, and also branding out to Atlanta in September of next year. So we're going to keep the
Wow.
same age group, but we're growing. The need is out there, and women are really getting it. And because we have made it not just a pageant, they're getting a lot of different skills, and they're getting sisterhood and friendship and interview skills. You know, the list I gave you earlier. So they're gaining so much. Women are just coming to us now.
Wow. That's not like I said. That's not surprising because Vanessa, and I have experienced firsthand the grand scale and the quality of your pageants and what exactly they pull out of the women who participate. So that's always something good. But Vanessa, I'll let you ask your second question now.
Okay, here's a question I've always wondered. Have you yourself ever competed in beauty pageants? And if so, tell us what it was like.
When I was younger, I did, let's see, one, two, I think three or four pageants. I can't say I'm a pageant. I wasn't a pageant girl because I didn't go from pageant to pageant to pageant. They were all school pageants or my church pageant, and I always placed in them. Never won, but I placed. Um, when I started the Miss Senior Jacksonville pageant, I did it for a couple of years, and then I realized I need to feel like a contestant feels. I need to um, see how it feels to prepare, um, feel that anxiety, feel the confidence or lack of. I need to feel how it is to win. So I did compete in 2013 and I placed 14th, not 14th, oh my gosh, fourth runner up out of 16 women. I ran from
Hmm.
the Miss Corporate America pageant. And then in 2016, yeah, 2016, I competed for Miss Mompreneur and won that title for 2015 and carried it on until 2016. And then I competed again last year for Mrs. Corporate America again, and I placed first runner up. Um, the experience is very positive. It's a lot of work, and I think people don't realize how much work it is to prepare because you're getting to know yourself in a different way because you think you know yourself, right? But what I learned is that, oh my goodness, I am so doggone competitive. And I had to plan and focus different than what I do every day to go to work. I had to get fit. I had to start eating differently. I had to come up with a platform that I believed in and was passionate about. I had to brand myself all over and tell people why I deserve to be the next Miss. So there's a lot of preparation, and it taught me a lot about myself and a lot about people seeing you as being an inspiration. You are able to inspire so many people, women, men, kids, because of what you are doing positively in the community. So I recommend it for women definitely. When I think about the pageant that we're currently doing with the senior women, we're not only inspiring them, but we're inspiring everyone that is in that audience or everyone that that contestant asks for support from. Um, I love it, so I would highly recommend it. Thank you for asking, Vanessa.
Hmm.
All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Derek,
Yes,
your turn.
that would lead me to my fourth question. What advice could you give to women who are interested in competing in pageantry?
Go for it. Why not?
All righty.
See, the thing with women is it takes some time for them to get up the strength and the courage to compete because what they hear is pageant. And when you think pageant, you think beauty pageant. And when you hear that, you think, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not fit enough. I'm not cute enough. I'm not perky enough. That's what women think. I'm not prepared enough. I could never win. So that little thing in your head just starts talking and pulling you down. But my advice is there is hope out there. You can pull this off. You have to come up with what goal you want to achieve. And that's what I did at my pageants. My first pageant as an adult, I wanted to win, but I was okay if I didn't win because I wanted to be in a pageant to understand how does it feel as an adult to win, to lose, to prepare, because I needed to prepare my senior women. So for any woman who wants to compete, I say go for it, but talk to women that have done it before so they can understand how to prepare. And if they don't know anyone that has been in a pageant before, then you go online, you Google, you go on YouTube, and you type in how to prepare for a pageant. And there's tons of information out there. Tons of information. I do pageant coaching on the side. I've been pretty successful with it. So they can even call me or email me and talk to me about it.
Yes, ma'am. Like, because one thing that I've learned throughout my pretty short life is the best way to become fluent with anything is to get advice or training from someone that has massive amount of experience in it. So
Right.
because you have to experience it, or if someone else has experienced it and they have a certain level of wisdom concerning it, then it's obviously not the exact same as you experience it yourself, but it's closer than most. But okay, I will ask a my second question. What would you say so far your greatest or your favorite moment of pageantry, of the different pageants that you have been a part of or that you've put together?
I think my greatest memory is when we have women who are just happy to be a part of it, and that their greatest memory is having their family and friends come out and support them that they haven't seen in years. It's like a family reunion for many of our women. And again, we have tried really hard for it to be more than just a pageant. We want them to unite, to make a friend, to feel better about themselves. So when I see all of their family and friends at the pageant or just providing support, I love that because it's like mission accomplished. It's like the ministry is working. I had one lady, she was 83. She was in our first pageant. She was about an hour and a half late to the first meeting. She tried to drive herself and she was all turned around and just so frustrated when she finally got there. She like dropped all her papers and it was just, a little chaotic for her. But when she told me on pageant day or maybe the day before that she had 23 people coming to see her and that she was preparing her home and buying all this food and she was just so tickled pink and so excited, that just melted my heart because that meant, oh my goodness, this is more than a pageant. It's a reunion for these senior women. So a lot of times when you have adult kids, they may not be able to come home as much as you want to see them. So this pageant reunites families, and I love that.
Yes, ma'am. It's always good. It's always good to uh, provide a sense of togetherness when because it's always some people may need a catalyst, something to push them to see each other again, and a lot of times it may be funerals or weddings or something of that nature or graduations, but that's something grand that you have been able to orchestrate on that level. Vanessa, do you have another question?
One last question. How has your pageant helped empower women to give back to their communities?
Well, each woman has to have a cause, a platform, and we teach them don't worry about the win of the crown and the sash. You start your platform now. That voice starts now. When you decide, hey, I'm going to be in this pageant, then you are coming with a cause. Whether that cause is transformation, rehabilitation, Alzheimer's Association, they pick what they are passionate about. And then I ask that they go out in the community and shine. Talk about who you are and what you're standing for. Call that organization, call that association, and be a part. Do not wait until you win the pageant. because right now you're already a winner. Taking that first step into this, you are already a winner.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Derek.
Oh, well, I do have one more question as well. I wanted to know, as far as your experiences with the pageantry, what was one of the most inspirational, the one that moves you the most?
I can say the first year we were so new at this, and we had a little over 560 people in the audience. Very touching. Women trusted us with their lives, with their money, with all their resources, and the audience the same. So you're looking at so many people that had their hands in it to make it a success. When we started this pageant, we didn't have any sponsors. We didn't have a budget. We didn't have any money, no handbook, no nothing. Started from scratch. And I'm so thankful for the people who took a chance. And now, 10 years later, we're still here.
Hmm.
So I feel I'm thankful and I'm blessed. Um, there's a team of us that make it happen, but the biggest resource has been our contestants who keep believing.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, yes, ma'am. Um, okay, I'll ask my final question. What is the largest turnout for a competition that you've ever had?
As far as contestants, this year we have 15 women, which is a lot. It's a lot. And you look on TV and you see 50 women for Miss America or for Miss Universe, but I can tell you we we've we want to keep it small with the 15 or no more than 15, because we try to give so much attention to each woman. We do one-on-one phone calls several times leading up into the pageant. We do one-on-one walkthroughs with them. So we try to invest the time in them individually versus group. We do groups too, but we just try to make sure that we keep the group at a manageable number so we can give them all that they deserve and want.
Yes, ma'am. That attests to a high level of quality. Is there anything else or any other questions that you would like to touch up on, or is there anything else that you want to make sure that our listeners know?
Well, for any woman that's out there that's listening, I just want you to know you can do it. Step out of that comfort zone. It doesn't have to be a pageant that you do. Do something every month where you are pushing yourself closer to being a better you.
Yes, ma'am. And because I think Vanessa, hasn't your grandmother talked about entering in one of her pageants before, or am I thinking about the wrong thing?
No, I've been trying to get her to enter into the pageant, but she just feel like she can't do it.
So that goes back to what I was saying earlier, that a lot of women, especially mature women, don't believe they can. It takes it takes 2, sometimes 3 years for us to recruit a woman. I know that sounds like a long time, but it really does. And so what we've learned is that we have to start early, like sometimes 8 months early in recruiting, because women have to like run it through their heads a couple of times. Well, what am I going to do for a pageant? And you have to tell them, well, step one is what can you do? What are your hobbies? Step two is, okay, let's prioritize what those hobbies are. Step three is, who do you have in your support system that can help you? The earlier you start working with a woman, the easier it will become in her believing that she can do this. For our pageant, we have a pretty robust schedule of job roles. We give these roles to the contestant and we let them know you need to have a Facebook manager. You need to have someone who takes care of your ads and sponsors. You need to have a ticket manager, and your last resource would be your team manager. So we have written out roles for their supporters because all the women know is I need help. But then you have to be told, how do you need the help? What is the help going to do? So the more resources and assistance we can offer the contestant, the more comfortable they become and the more they believe that they can do it. So you have to do that with your grandma.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much, Miss Demps,
You're
for
welcome.
participating.
Um, I was about to say, and thank you, Vanessa, for saying that. Ms. Demps, thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you and be another platform for you to, in a way, advertise yourself and advertise your different businesses. And we do plan on, especially if everyone's schedule allows it, for us to do a part two for this interview.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am. But
I'm okay with that.
yes, ma'am. Thank you. So is there anything else that anyone else wanted to say before we close off?
I did want to ask her, are there any questions or anything she's curious about towards us?
Yes.
Yes. Why did you decide to do this?
I guess we'll go
Well,
one by one.
uh, well, I'll let the miss go first, Vanessa.
Okay. Well, we actually we decided to do this when we were in college. It came to Diamante. He desired to start something. He wanted to start a group and an organization that kind of was more positive, and a lot of people came in. They wanted to support that, and then we just started making a lot of content, a lot of posts, and then it kind of grew into something more. We started making videos, podcasts, and that's really how we kind of got started. But to go into more detail, I'll let him explain his vision.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. It was in 2016. I really just made the group again just to give. It was mid 2016, around the summertime. I wanted to give people a platform to do basically what they wanted to eventually do. Talk about their businesses, their different brands. Even if you just wanted to talk about specific social issues. But it wasn't until late 2016 and really February 2017 I came up with the idea for me to use the organization as a way to give myself a platform along with a coalition of young people. It was February when we decided for Black History Month we were going to do a series of written biographies, actually typed in our own words and our own research concerning Black history figures once every day of the month. Uh, by the ending of the month, we had a figure done for each and every day. So as time went on, and we kept expanding our ideas, and we kept expanding what we were doing, we eventually got different entrepreneurs, artists, singers, etc., to want us to advertise or want to just post their content within our group, and our numbers grows as well. We got different people to join, different people to leave, and by the time it got to right there where we are now, we've done multiple projects concerning. We've done two projects concerning for women of color, showcasing the different textures of their natural hair, and showcasing themselves being, and also the second one showcasing themselves being comfortable with them showing off their natural faces. Derek has really maintained this routine of him doing more positive hip hop content, which is his form of music. And Derek, she has done different educational pieces according to dance, and I have done, as of now, because it's also on there as well. I have done over 82 pieces of writing, of short biographical writings, in our group on our different websites and social media platforms. So it's been a lot. We have been doing it in because I see an end goal to this. I see that what we're doing because I've had dozens of people to actually privately message me and contact me, family that I haven't heard from in years who've heard about it. I've had people to actually go out of their way to request that I do a particular writing piece on a particular person. Like I've had a young lady to request, not to request for me to do a writing piece on the Harlem Hellfighters. If you
Wow.
if you know who they are, so that was something. So it's just we
Okay.
hope to keep growing.
Well, I
Mm.
love what the three of you, or I'm sure it's more of you, but I love what you're doing. Stay encouraged and stay focused. And I look forward to part two of this. And I look forward to helping you any way that I can. So congratulations on your vision and just stay to it. It'll come. It'll grow bigger, and I can see that for you.
Yes,
Awesome.
ma'am, and thank you.
Thank you
You're
so
so
much, Miss
welcome.
Demps.
Yes, you have. Yes,
You're
thank you so
welcome,
much.
Vanessa. You know you're my girl, so I'll do what you need me to do.
Thank you.
Uh, All right, y'all take it easy. Bye bye.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
You as well.